I was telling Brother David in the meditation room, and I was telling Sister Jennifer up here, she was, when asked how I'm doing, it's one of those moments in my life where I'm doing really, really great. And as you know, I've overcome this health challenge of 5 or 6 years that I have been going through. And I'm so grateful for that. It's almost like my brain doesn't remember that I'm over it sometimes when I wake up in the morning. So part of my brain is prepared to still be dealing with this digestive thing, which is no longer happening. And I go, oh, right, that's done. That's a clear deal. So, a lot of people have been supporting me over the years with that. And so right now I'm doing great. I'm doing great in every possible way that I can think of. It's like if someone asks me, do you have any prayers you want answered right now for yourself, I would go, like, I feel like they've all been answered. I'm in heaven on earth. I'm spending a lot of time meditating, a lot of time self-programming, a lot of time just, I'm doing something that is one of the most difficult lessons for me of my life is to allow myself to be about self-care, is to prioritize myself. I have, since I've been really little, like, thought that I was the savior of the world, that I was here to save everybody. And it has been exhausting sometime in my life because it's interesting. There are many times that this example is an example that has repeated itself. I'm the kind of person who, my mother could die on Friday in the afternoon, and Friday night my phone could be ringing off the hook with several people who knew my mother died that morning, but were calling with their own crises to present to me. I need your help with so-and-so. Sometimes it's been financial stuff. I'm in a financial bind. I don't know how I'm going to pay my light bill this month, and I just need you to give me some prayer support. And I've been sometimes on the phone going, how dare you? How dare you be calling me about this when you know my mom died 7 hours ago? And it's just, but I've never said, how dare you? I've never said, this is not a good time. I've never said, I need time to grieve. Could you call another minister? There are 4 of us on staff. I've always instantly felt like it was my obligation from my Creator to drop my own grieving, to shove it away, and to start being there, figuring out with this person how they're going to pay their bill, figuring out how much I have that I can add to that need. And all my life, whenever I have felt exhausted, completely exhausted, like I need to just take care of me, I've never been able to do it throughout my life. Never. When Johnny Earl died, I told Hope Church, where I was the pastor at the time, I said, I need to take a month off. I need to not do, I was directing the choir at the time and teaching the choir. I need to not do the choir for a month. I maybe need to not come and preach for a month. And all they had to say was, you can't do that to us. We need you to be preaching, especially now. You can't do that to the choir. We need to be singing. And right away I would go, how dare I even suggest that I not be there for them to take care of me? That's not a good Christian. That's not a good person. And so this has just been this way I've lived all my life. I'm down to one sibling now, one family member, one immediate family member. Her name is Rhonda. Rhonda always has taken care of herself, and I've always thought she was not a good Christian because she did that. She's always taken care of herself, and I've always thought she was mean Because if somebody walked up to her after church and said, I feel so attracted to you, and I want to get together with you twice a week for the next 3 months that I'm in town, my sister would say, I'm not feeling that. I'm not signing up for that.
I love it.
I don't resonate with that. And I would be standing there going, how can she be so mean? How can she be so mean? And so, almost all my life, I've looked at Rhonda and said, you are so mean. And she's looked at me and gone, you don't even know how to spell boundary. You don't even know how to spell it. You're a pushover. And no matter how many times she said that, I thought I was right and she was wrong. No, I'm a good guy. I'm a Christian. And you're mean. Well, I was in a meeting with my sister at Hope Church a week and a half ago. And I said, Rhonda, I just recently in my life realized you're not mean. You take care of yourself. And you're right. All my life I never have known how to spell the word boundary. I thought boundary was meanness. I've had therapy in my life, and I've had some therapists say, well, this is just kind of a symptom of a lot of people who were molested when they were children, you know, and you didn't know how to say no, you felt like you had no control. If someone said something, you took it as a command that you could not say no to, and so we're going to work to help you get through that and to get over that and to develop some boundaries. And when my therapist said the word boundary, I thought, I don't think I need to come to this guy. He's like Rhonda. He's trying to get me to stop being a good Christian. He's trying to get me to be selfish. Well, something has happened in the last several months of my life, and I think it was because I was about to do this double colonoscopy, and my surgeon thought I might die again, and so I started thinking about, well, what do you want to, if it is your time to die in October 2018, and it's now like 4 months preceding that, do you want to keep living your life the way you have for the next 4 months? Or if you knew it was the end, would you make some changes that were important? And I thought to myself, I think I would try to learn how to spell boundary.
Awesome.
And so 4 or 5 months ago, I started learning how to spell boundary.
Yay.
Yes.
And it has led to some life-transforming experiences for me. I have always, through the Course in Miracles, believed, studied, and taught that you can only be as close to God as you are to the individual you hold at greatest distance. And I've taught for 30 years that this does not mean you have to go to the movies with them, have them over for tea, stay married to them. It means you simply bless them. You simply wish them well. But even teaching that, I didn't practice that. I thought you do have to keep going to the movies with them. You do have to have them over to tea. You do have to be as close to somebody else as they want to be with you. Most of my relationships were not my choices. Most of my one-on-one intimate relationships in my life have not been with somebody I laid eyes on and went, whoa, I'm interested in that one. It's always been someone coming to me. I dig you. I want you for my man. And I heard it like I heard at 7 years old, somebody saying, you have to do this. And so I had a lot of boyfriends and a lot of girlfriends and 2 or 3 boyfriends in my life. That wouldn't have been if I was the picker. But they picked me, and I couldn't say no. Well, what a different life I'm living in now. I say no to everything I mean no to. I only say yes to what I really feel a yes to. I have cut off 2 relationships that I've had for about the last 18 years. One with a woman from the church that I was pastoring in Amherst, and one with a guy who lives in my neighborhood in Montague. For 18 years, I have felt each of them in their own way, literally draining the life out of me. Enough is never enough. No matter what you do, there's always more, more, more. And I've told them each, please stop pulling on me so much. Please, you're draining me. Please, I feel like you're smothering me. And they would go, well, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. No, you just have so much light. I want some of your light. And so many times I would leave being in their presence and they would skip up the street. And I would walk like this. I didn't know if I could ever just stop it. My therapist said, simply stop it, and I couldn't. Rhonda said, cut it off. Rhonda said, you're not doing them any service. They think their life depends upon you. What you need to do is cut them off and see if they die. They won't die, Carlos. You think they will, but they won't. And as long as they're sucking your light, and no matter how many times you preach, you're the light is in you. Well, you can preach that, but when they come running up to you after service going, I want some of your light. What do? Shine it on them. Praying that this is the last time, and knowing it isn't. Well, I no longer I'm no longer feeding these 2 people. I did it in a chicken way. I was a chicken about it. I couldn't just call them up and say, the dance we've been doing is over. I'm not going to do this dance with you anymore. Do not call me 8 times a week anymore. No, I won't be getting together with you 3 or 4 times a week anymore. I didn't do that. I basically called out to the universe, could you please make something happen so that this will just kind of be a natural segue out. And so I created a conversation with the woman where she revealed to me what she had never revealed to me before, that it's not just your light I want, it's you I want. Ever since my husband died, I chose you. I got you in by having you counsel me for the loss of my husband. But to be honest, even while my husband was ill, I had my eyes on you. If she had never told me that, I don't know if I ever would have stepped away. I don't know if I ever would have had the courage to just go, this is not working for me, you are training me dry, and here is where I get off this train. So I feel like I put out a call to the universe, please let something happen so it makes sense for me to back off. And when that conversation, when she was sharing that with me on the phone, at some point I put the phone down and went, now I can step away. 2 days later, I went to the store and ran into my friend in the neighborhood who has also been leeching off me. Thank God, God answered my prayer. When I went over there to hug him, as I always do, he was upset that another one of his friends had stood him up, and he was looking for that friend. So when I went to hug him, he pushed my arms off of him, and he lit into me. Can't you see I've got other things on my mind? And he's cussing me out for hugging him. And inside I'm going, thank you, Jesus! Thank you, Jesus! I'm free at last! Thank God Almighty! I'm free at last! he hadn't done that, I don't know if I could have stepped away. So that's how it happened. I just want to be honest, because honesty is the best policy as far as I'm concerned. I am living an entirely different life. Between the two of these people, I was probably fielding 32 to 34 phone calls a week and putting in about 8 hours a week of my time. Not wanting to, but feeling like it was my Christian duty. Not knowing how to spell boundary, I spelt boundary B-E-I-N-G-M-E-A-N, being mean. Maybe it did come from stuff that happened to me as a kid. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't really matter to me where it came from. The point is, I'm so hallelujah glad that it's gone. It has affected everything. I can say no to anybody, anytime now. Timothy, as you know, has been in a wheelchair. Oh, he's out now, by the way. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
He's out as of 2 days ago. He had a doctor's visit. He was told that he could start wearing sneakers, get out of his Tron boots and wear sneakers and just start walking in the day. But when Timothy was in the wheelchair, 2 broken heels, I had already made this change, this transformation in my life. Poor guy.
Right.
So there'd be times he'd be in his room and he'd holler into my room, "Hey, Losi, yeah? Could you go downstairs and get me some orange juice?" No. No, seriously. No, seriously. You mean you're not going to go downstairs and get me some orange juice? I mean, you got legs. You might have to be careful going down there. But what would you do if I was in Boston? Who would get your orange juice if I was in Boston? And Tim's going, "I wish you had never learned how to spell." So people are getting used to the new me, and I'm getting used to the new me. Right now in my life, there are so many people going through some very big crises. There's a couple of people who are in marriages that look like they're at the end, look like they're dissolving with great trauma, a lot of drama. I have a friend who just as recently as 3 days ago, had an operation to take out a cancerous organ from his body. I've had people who appear to possibly be losing their homes. I have people, a lot of relationship stuff going on, not just with married people, but just a lot of trauma. And when you're a minister, I'm like the only unity type minister, so I'm the only non-traditional or fundamental minister in my whole little area. So anybody that doesn't fit into those boxes, they come to me. I feel like being Reverend Carlos Anderson in Montague, Massachusetts. It's like being Dr. Welby. Remember Dr. Welby? He made house calls. People could call him up at 2 o'clock in the morning. He'd roll out of bed, pick up the phone, get dressed, get in his car, and go help out. Well, that's who I have been in Montague, Massachusetts. And it's who I'm not. And so I'm adjusting to people's probably thinking I'm mean. Wishing I never learned how to spell the word boundary. Hoping that I'm just going through a phase. And that one day, the Carlos that will do anything for anybody at any time will come back. I'm not letting that dude back. I'm not letting him back. Because I feel like only what you do with a cheerful heart. Only what you do because you want to do it is a balm. Only that is helpful. It's not helpful to pretend to want to be somewhere that you don't want to be. It's not helpful. And so it's a whole new world. I literally, this sounds intense, but I'm telling you my truth. I feel emancipated from slavery. self-incarcerated, self-chosen slavery. I literally do. I feel like I'm running up north. I really do. And nobody put me in that situation. Nobody put those shackles on me, but me. But me. And I did it thinking I was doing what God wanted me to do. My philosophy has always been, if someone has to be sad, if someone has to be upset, if someone is not going to get what they want, let me be that person. Because I want Jesus to see I'm being like him. My dad used to say, didn't you read the part where Jesus told his best buddy, get behind me, dude. Get behind me. Don't come in my face with that mess. So I'm living a whole new world, a whole new reality. I had my birthday party at my house last Sunday. Had a gathering at 4 o'clock. It was so wonderful. A dear friend who used to attend my church when I was pastoring it, and I had not seen her in years, and she showed up late, and we were all at the dining room table eating. We had just begun our meal. She ran in. She came over to where I was sitting, and she put a wrapped up gift right by my plate, and then she went, well. And I went, well, what? Well, I'm waiting for you to open my present. And then when I want you to pick your present up off the table so that I don't get any of my gravy on your beautiful packaging. And then I want you to go get yourself some food. And then I want you not to bug me. I'm going to eat my food. Well, when are you going to open my present? The moment I feel like it. And it may not be until you're gone. And she went, well, Lord have mercy. I heard there was a new you in town. It's so awesome to know that wasn't being mean. No. It sounds mean. I mean, I grew up all my life thinking that was mean. At the end of the night, she went, you taught me one of the biggest lessons that I will ever learn. I got to find out about me with what you just did. And I got to find out about how we all have seen you. We've all seen you, Reverend Carlos says, somebody we could just tell what to do. If I had told you a year ago, open up my present, you'd have dropped your fork and started undoing the ribbon. But she said, it startled me, and I had to go process an instant upset. But while I was processing, I said to myself, thank God he just did that. Because I got to see what I do and what he did, and that it was the only appropriate thing to happen. She said, when I was driving to your party, a part of me was coming late on purpose so that I could make an entrance and so that I could take over. To telling you to open that wasn't the only thing I was planning on doing. I was going to insist that you play and sing 3 songs at your party. I came in here going, I'm going to have him sing this, this, and this. And I went, that's very interesting. I never know how other people are seeing me, but I know how I've been seeing me. And this, I don't know who I'm speaking this message for today, but somebody's on either side of this. If any of you are feeling like anybody outside of you is your light, you need to let that go. And if anybody here is experiencing other people in your life who are pulling at your light. And you just feel it. You need to say, I think Reverend Carlos's message was for me regarding so-and-so or such and such. It could be a person, it could be a circle of friends, it could be somewhere you go, somewhere you hang out, any of that. But self-love is so important. And you know, and I tell you all how much I love myself, and I really do love myself. And I've always felt that I love myself, but this has been a wake up to a piece of me who didn't love myself enough. I think I was loving myself many times for the wrong reason. I was loving myself because I was so self-sacrificing. Oh, you gotta love somebody that just puts himself last. Gotta love the doormat that lets people walk on him. Come on. I think that's why I loved me, for the wrong reasons. A lot of it was that I didn't have a mind of my own and a life of my own. And now I love me even more that I've come into this taking care of Carly. The interesting thing is that I was able to cancel my colonoscopy. I didn't go under the knife on the 18th of this month. I'm healed. So it wasn't even about that. And I didn't get healed with surgery. I didn't get healed with medication. I got healed. Jennifer laid hands on me, gave me some Reiki. I've had so many people giving me Reiki, laying hands on me, go to the Pentecostal church, having put hands on me and speak in tongues. I've done so much stuff over the last 6 years. It culminated in a healing. So it was not about what was going on physically. The physical manifestation, for it took this physical manifestation 5.5 years to get Carlos Wayne Anderson to realize it's okay to put yourself first, buddy. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to say no. And you don't even have to say no and follow it up with all these reasons. Because I started that way. Oh no, I would love to, but no, my car's been having some trouble lately, and so I don't really want to drive all the way to Springfield because I don't know if my car... No, just a simple, hey Carlos, will you so-and-so? No. Is that all you're going to say? That's all I need to say. Okay, so that's who you're talking to? That's who you're living with? That's who I am? And somebody needed to hear that? And I'm glad I said that. God bless you and keep you.
Thank you.
God shine upon you. Lift up his countenance upon you. Be gracious unto you and give you peace. Shalom.
Amen.